this is it. And I swear there ain't nothing better. We're up and we're out in the perfect weather. I just wanna run away with you. I just wanna run away with you.
Happy work day. It's a Thursday, which means our weekly meeting is today. I do not have any clients to officially present because my whole entire caseload was presented last week, which I mentioned in that last vlog. Don't know how I got myself on that rotation, but I did. And so, last week was tough, but that means this week in the meeting, I basically just kind of sit and listen to other people, which is pretty nice. But hi, I'm Anna. I'm a social worker in a youth detention center, and it is a Thursday. It is actually my last work day of the week today, which is very irregular. Usually I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sometimes the occasional Tuesday, and it is different this weekend. It's actually one of the fun weekends. I've been having about one weekend off a month lately, and this weekend is it. So very excited for that, but I'm going to head to work. There's a chill in the air. It kind of feels fall-like, so I got my fall colors on, and overall in a good mood.
You wanna know that the time's changing? Don't you wanna know that the ride is yours? Don't you wanna roll away? Don't you wanna roll? It's on you to decide if something changes. Say bye, 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 bye. When you're stuck in chains, well, nothing changes. I just wanna run away with you. I said, now I just wanna run away with you. Don't you wanna know that the time's changing?
We will talk about work yesterday, but first I want to give the quick rundown of what I'll be doing as we talk. So I've mentioned them before, but I'm going to mention them again. Again, not because I'm sponsored, just because I'm trying out new things. Whenever I like them, I want to make sure you know it's an option too. But holiday skincare, I have decided to fully commit to now. I mentioned them a few videos ago, and they're a skincare service where it's a small company, a small team of people who are experts in skincare that you take a pretty thorough quiz, but it doesn't take too long, about your skin and what goals you have, and then even as far as how many steps you would like to have in your skincare routine, your budget for skincare, whether that's like high, whatever it takes, or within a budget that you're comfortable with, and you let them know the products that you're already using so that they can incorporate the good ones still into your routine to prevent any kind of waste or spending money when you don't need to. And so I first got from them probably like a month ago at this point, but I didn't get everything that they had suggested, and I also was still continuing to put other things on my face and not necessarily doing like good habits and things like that. And I kind of realized earlier this week, I was like, how can I expect skin improvements if I'm not actually doing what the experts have said specifically my skin will benefit from? And so I went ahead and I got the rest of my routine earlier this week, but then it arrived yesterday, and they have now a custom morning and night routine for me that I plan on following, and we'll just kind of see how it goes, which is pretty exciting. Something else that I am going to be more conscious of when it comes to skincare is the nights that I use my active ingredients versus letting my skin have rest days, because there's both a clarity tonic and a spot reduction treatment type deal that I have now, but it's important to not use those like every night at all, just like 2, maybe 3 times a week, and then make sure that skin has a break to fully like recover, rest, all of that. So I do have a referral link down below so you can take the skincare quiz and see what is suggested to you. Obviously, I really like the products that they suggested for me because I got them and now I'm using them, but since our skins are different, it's going to be different for you. So I'm not necessarily recommending the exact products that you'll see in my routine, but I do recommend at least taking that quiz so you can see what they do recommend to you and the routine that they recommend to you, and which of your products you have right now you can feel confident in continuing continuing to use because they're doing good things for you. Because that was honestly kind of game changing for me too. It was like knowing, okay, some of the stuff I've been using has been good, but then some of the stuff I've been using could be better for my skin. And I just can't even lie to you, and this is also probably because I'm not sponsored by them, but I fully was planning whenever I first took the quiz was to take the quiz, see what they recommended me, and then go find it sold cheaper on like Amazon or Target, just like thinking I wouldn't actually buy from them. But the products on their website were actually cheaper than what I was finding at like Walmart or Ulta or any of the other places you can get stuff. So that's just kind of something to note as well. I don't know if they can like buy in bulk or what they do, but it is cheaper there than the other stores. So that's my skincare. As far as the work update goes, yesterday we did have the meeting. Like I think I mentioned, I didn't have anyone that I needed to present, which kind of made the meeting pretty easy. I mostly just sat and listened to other people. And then yesterday there was kind of two harder things, but not necessarily bad things. We did have a memorial service for a coworker of mine that passed away in August. And so it was kind of just the work memorial service, and there was some family that came in, but obviously since I began in June, I only knew her for about 2.5 months, but there are other people at the facility who had known her for decades and worked alongside her for decades, and she really was like such a beautiful person. So it was a beautiful memorial service, and it really was a celebration of her life, you know, even though obviously people are sad that she's gone and not around anymore. But they're dedicating a hall to her, and like I said, it really was a celebration. I know that she really would have loved the service that we had yesterday, so that was in the afternoon. So I didn't actually do too much work because obviously that kind of took priority yesterday. And then the other kind of a little bit difficult, but again good thing that happened yesterday was one of my clients who I've had for months at this point most likely will not be in the facility anymore by the time that I go back on Monday, which is another case of like, obviously it's always good for youth whenever they are not having to be detained anymore, can go back to family, all of that. But there always is kind of a, I don't want to say grieving because it's not quite that, but there are emotions that are associated with the end of a client relationship of like no longer giving treatment. Like whenever I'm scheduling my planning sessions, it's not going to be with him anymore. And so we've been doing termination because termination is, you know, a process, not just the last session. We've been doing termination for a while. So I think that like he's ready, but there is always that kind of just sense of saying goodbye that can be a little bit more difficult at times than other times. Today though, what's a little bit different is Zach and I are actually leaving in about 45 minutes. Like honestly, I'm a little bit behind and getting ready. About 45 minutes to drive to North Carolina because I have a cousin who's having a bridal shower this weekend. And so this is my one single weekend off this month, and we're doing a little weekend trip, which I'm excited for because I've been to Carolina before with my family who lives there, but I've never been like since my time living in Atlanta. And what's a little bit funny about this trip is this is actually the family that I was going to go see back whenever, like March 13th, 2020, you know, when all of that was going down. And it was like the trip that I ended up canceling, and it was kind of the like, oh, do we really have to cancel the things that we're doing? And it ended up being like obviously a good decision. But I was going to drive from Atlanta to North Carolina, and then this, over 2 years later, is the time that I actually get to do it. So I am excited to go, and it'll be kind of a miniature road trip. It's about 5 hours. So nothing too crazy, but relatively substantial. Zach was working this morning, which is why we haven't left yet, and I honestly stayed in bed for a long time this morning and then went and got a little workout in, honestly like very little workout, and then kind of just been slow moving this morning. Like I've watched more TikToks than I should be, and I haven't packed yet, so kind of gotta move fast. But it is the bridal shower this weekend, and I ordered a dress because I'm not sure if I have any dresses that are really good for a bridal shower. I ordered a dress. I would put it off to last minute. I don't even know why, just because I guess it just kept getting pushed off on my to-do list, or I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll go in person to buy one or something like that. And I ordered it from Amazon on Wednesday, and today's Friday, and it is out for delivery, but I feel like there's next to no chance that it's going to actually arrive here before we're leaving in like 45 minutes, but fingers are crossed for that. We will have to look in my closet though to see if there are any other good options. So unfortunately, Amazon has updated their delivery window to say that my dress will get delivered between 2:45 and 6:45 p.m. today, and I just can't imagine, unless it's some sort of miracle, that it would get delivered before the delivery window. So I think I'm totally left to what I have right now, which honestly is not that much, but we can check it out. Look, see, this is the dress section. This is what we're working with. I have a jumpsuit that I could wear, like, don't love. I could wear this dress. Okay, this is in the running, maybe. I wish it was like flowery and fun, but beggars cannot be choosers. I don't actually like this dress, so it's not in the running. Fun skirt, not bridal shower vibes. That's why I feel like all of this is like not bridal shower vibes. Like I love this pink dress. but unfortunately not bridal shower vibes. Okay, I think this dress is going to have to be it, even though I don't love it for the bridal shower. But the issue too is that now it's October and it's like a high of 68, I think, on bridal shower day. I'm gonna have to be creative. I packed up my toiletries. This is all clean laundry on the bed that I think there's no chance I'll be putting away before we leave, but maybe. And I'm gonna pack up the rest of my clothes. I can't decide what I should do about that dress to make it more fall-y, like what I should put over it. Oh well, we'll figure it out.
If spring is the season that wakes me alive, then fall is the season to contemplate life. Oh, yeah. I don't know what is it exactly in this time of year that makes the melancholy me reappear. Oh, yeah. Back and forth through dark roast coffee, salt, mist and sea, sand and ember trees. 'Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in nostalgia slowly. All the leaves they're turning brown. 'Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cool wind sneak back in our town. 'Cause we lived when it was all bare feet, tan skin glistening beneath the heat, evening swirl into a bird-song beat. God, it's now so very bittersweet, so I guess I'll just put on my favorite sweater and say goodbye to summer. I keep on forgetting times learn how to fly, and before I know it, it passes me by. Oh, I don't know why when life is beautiful I start to fear it'll slip through my fingers and just disappear. Oh, yeah. Back and forth through dark roast coffee, salt, mist and sea, sand and ember trees. 'Cause it still feels like summer, but it's soaked in nostalgia slowly. All the leaves they're turning brown. 'Cause it still feels like summer, and I simply don't wanna see the cold wind sneak back in our town. 'Cause we lived when it was all bare feet, tan skin glistening.
We got back around 9:30 last night, so nothing too crazy. It was just about a 5-hour drive, and definitely well worth it for a weekend trip to visit family, see cousins. The bridal shower came together so very beautifully, and then we also got to spend some time out on the boat and just hang around. So it really, like, the recharge aspect of the weekend was incredible, and seeing family was incredible. I did, however, wake up this morning and head into work. However, it is a holiday. It is He Who Shall Not Be Named Day, or Columbus Day, for a state holiday, meaning that at work today it was holiday coverage, so I was kind of just there just to be there, more so than to truly like do counseling and do full work and everything. So I got caught up on some paperwork that I didn't do last week, just put in my notes late, which I mean is fine, and talked to some kids but didn't like officially see them for counseling or anything. Since it was a slow day, I finally finished reading Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. That book took me over a month to get through, which was a lot of factors going into that, such as not being motivated to read, not necessarily having as much time that I wanted to devote to reading, but also the book was super slow paced. However, that being said, I do think it was a good book. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to rate it. I imagine it's going to be somewhere around the 4-star mark, just because like it was a good book, but it's very different than I think what I usually read. And I honestly, it wasn't necessarily comfortable to read, not in a it was bad way, but just because you're so deep in the main character's head as she's like navigating through her relationships and things within herself and everything. I kept having to remind myself, like, these are her thoughts, not your thoughts, Anna. Like, you're fine. These are her thoughts. So it wasn't necessarily a comfortable read, and it was slow and character driven, so different than what I usually read. But I do think I liked it. That's the verdict. But I'm going to take it to the library now to return it, and I think I have a book to pick up on hold from the library too. So, good start to the week. A little Monday action. And there's a couple other things that I've got planned for the afternoon/evening as well.
I don't want them weekend
Okay, the other thing about the weekend that I want to tell you about is that there was this store that they took me to. I forget what it was actually called. In my head it's called Bargain Bins, but I think it's maybe like Bargain by the Bin or something like that. But basically it's this store that they somehow get returns that people return to Target and Costco. I don't really know how they do that, but they get things that people have returned and then just have it all in the store, like in big piles and bins, I guess would make sense. And everything is $10, everything. And so anything that is sold at Costco and Target could be $10 in the store, which is pretty cool. Apparently, I never watched it, but they do like a Facebook Live video on like the week leading up to it, like towards the end of the week, to show what they have in store that day. And then Saturday is like the first day of a new cycle or whatever. And we went at 8:15 because people take this seriously, and you line up and you get numbers, and then once you get the number you can go and come back. So we went and had breakfast at Cracker Barrel and then came back at, I think the doors opened at like 10 or something like that. And it's like Black Friday feels, where honestly like it wasn't that stressful, especially because there wasn't anything that I was just like dying to have, but it was so cool going through the bins. I don't even think I took a single video because I was going through the bins, and Zach and I ended up only getting 3 things, but I wish there was something like this. Well, I don't know how a store like this would do in Atlanta. I feel like the energy would be higher to a point that I wouldn't go if it were in Atlanta, but it was fun when we went there. But what I got was this little plant decoration, which was $25 at Target regularly, and then I got for $10. So pretty good deal. Honestly though, for the deals that you can get with some things, not as good of a deal as it could be. But I have it sitting on the window in our kitchen now and have 2 pothos propagating in it right now. So I just think it's cute and I think it's fun. Next, we got a bed set that was originally $89.99 and got it for $10. Now, since it's a return, I don't know if we need to wash it or not, or if we can wash it. I don't really know how that works. And so I'm just gonna figure it out. It hasn't been like on my to-do list yet to trade it out with what's currently on our bed, but regularly $89.99 and we got it for $10. And then the last thing is this little wire shelf, wire rack type deal that I knew I wanted to go in the bathroom whenever I got it, but I was kind of imagining it almost like next to the shower until I got home and realized it was kind of the perfect size to put just like on the sink, that then both Zach but mostly me can put products on. Because what I kind of learned about myself is that I just really like being able to see things that I'm trying to use. Like if everything's just under the sink, I feel like that's whenever things get lost because I can't just see it all, and I like having the display be pretty and just like right there for me. And so I really like that rack too. I forget, it wasn't all too expensive. I think it's like $26 at Target or something like that. But again, we got it for $10, and so it was a total, like with tax, it was like $32.10 for all 3 of those items at Bargain Bins, which I thought was really cool. Second thing is that my dress from Amazon did arrive, the one that I wanted to wear to the shower, and obviously did not. I did just want to bring that up so we could go full circle with the vlog. And honestly, it looks a little bit see-through, like, can you see me through there? But I do think it's a pretty dress, and I'll try to wear it to like a dinner coming up, or I don't know, something, because I mean it would have been perfect for the shower, but obviously was not. Thanks for joining me on this fun little like couple work days. This was my only weekend off of work in this month. I had 1 in September, 1 in October. I'll have 1 in November that I'll also be traveling for, and then I forget what goes on in December. Actually, let me check. Oh, in December I get the 31st and the 1st off, so New Year's Eve and day. That's my next weekend off after Thanksgiving. But fun vlog. I'm really just gonna start the next one rolling in right now. It's a Tuesday and I've got some fun things planned, so be on the lookout for that next vlog. As always, I appreciate you so much. I hope your day is going wonderfully, and I'll see you next time.
I do better things with my time than trying to make